One of our most popular reports is first case on-time start rate. And I want to explain a bit about why that is. First, it's a really big problem if you can't start your rooms on time. So that first case, if it gets delayed, it's going to have a ripple effect for all subsequent cases. So the first case, getting off the ground on time, is of critical importance for the rest of the day. And if you are delayed across all of your cases, you get decreased productivity for that block. There's a temptation to open up or expand new OR locations to take care of your case volumes, and that'll increase your costs. And it's really because you're just not starting on time. In addition to costs, it's a patient dissatisfier, right? So if you're that first patient that's scheduled to go to surgery at 7:30 and you can't get off till 15, 20 minutes late, and then as that ripples throughout the day and the delay extends itself, you're going to end up with patients that could be delayed for 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and it decreases their satisfaction. It also decreases the satisfaction of the surgeons. They have clinic in the afternoon, and so if they can't start on time, then they're going to be late for those patients. And it has this downstream effect that it becomes really of critical importance to get that first case off the ground. The other reason it's a popular report is it doesn't take much more data to get really informative, rich analytics. So we already have a lot of the data that you need, which is the anesthesia start time, the surgeon's name, the anesthesiologist or the CRNA's name, the OR location. All of that information is already on your chart. In order to get these kinds of really rich analytics, you only need to add 3 extra fields. Number 1, is this a first case start? And if it is, then what was the scheduled case start time? And if that was in fact a delayed case, then your third question is, what was the delay reason, right? So those are 3 different questions. Is it a first case? What was your scheduled case start time? And if delayed, what was the reason for that delay? All 3 questions don't need to be answered for every case, right? So if it's not a first case, then you don't need to record first case scheduled start time. You don't need to record a delayed reason if it's not first case or if it started on time. So even though you have 3 extra data points to put in, you're not putting them in on every field, which means that the data entry burden to get these kind of analytics is very low, and you get a high value. The types of analytics that you can get out of this, it's really interesting because you're not only getting a percent of your on-time start rate, like say I have a 90% on-time start rate, or my goal is 75% and I'm only at 52%. Well, that's one way to gauge it, is that percent that you have delayed. I think a much more meaningful way, a meaningful report, is to count the number of minutes for that delay. So a place that may start on time 74% of the time may still have more delay minutes than another location or another facility that has a 62% on-time start. So the actual number of cases that you can get going on time, I don't think is the most important. It's really how much was the delay. Look, if it's a 3-minute delay, then it's not much of a big deal. If it's a 15, 20-minute delay, that's where more cost is going to get picked up. And so being able to track the actual number of minutes rather than just the total number of cases, I think is one key aspect of that report. The other one is you need to be able in your analytic tool to be able to aggregate by the surgeon, by the anesthesiologist, by the CRNA, by the OR location number. You need to aggregate by the delay reasons. And if you look at those different aggregations in a visually informative way, you can start to pick up what is the root cause. Is it a systemic issue? Is it a person issue? Is it an equipment issue? Without the kind of visualization, you're really stuck in a world of opinions, which could be informed and could be correct, but they could also not be correct. And so when you can visualize this data and these results, when you can look at trends and say, what does the last quarter look like? What are the last year to date? What does it look like? Or we made changes in Q2 of this year. Did those changes have a measurable impact? How are things different now than they were before? So answering those types of questions for your management is key, and that's how you make these reports. These reports, for example, these first case on time delays. That's how you make them meaningful and helpful. So it allows you an opportunity to demonstrate that you're committed to operational excellence, to improved efficiency with the hospital administration. It strengthens your brand. I would say that it improves patient satisfaction if you can start on time. It improves surgeon satisfaction knowing that they can start on time, or knowing that, at least for them, knowing that there is a documented reason for things being delayed, and we're actively working on that and moving towards improving that. I think it's always an improvement process. And so if you're not doing well, then just make sure you're headed in the right direction. And it's a fantastic report. Doesn't take a lot of data, and it really provides a lot of bottom line meaning to the operations in the OR.